Here we go.
Today, it is my privilege to share this stage with the GOAT, with the smartest and most gifted man I think I've ever known, with a man that I do consider and love like a brother, even though he shames and ridicules my Dallas Cowgirls, as he calls them. He won't give me a break on that.
The Cry Boys.
The Cry Boys. We've had a lot to cry about this year, legitimately. And I'm talking obviously about Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. Thank you, Wayne, for taking the time with us today.
Oh, come on, bro. You know it's anytime.
Yeah, but you did have quite a night last night with your Packers. Go Pack, go.
Okay, go.
Yeah, you thought it was just a ho-hum win, right? We'll get to it in just a moment, but
I thought it was that win that they say we needed. So
yeah,
that's it.
Okay, well, you did bounce back from losing at Detroit on Thanksgiving, so now you've won 4 out of 5.
Barely losing.
Yeah, barely 34-31 it was on Thanksgiving. Okay, let's talk about what really mattered, which was Saturday night.
Yeah.
You were there on the front row in New York City.
Yes, I was.
There was Dion, there was Shadeur, there was Lil Wayne, and there was Travis Hunter. And to me, and I've been watching these things, I never miss a Heisman ceremony for God knows how many years. And to me, it eclipsed every Heisman ceremony I have ever watched in my lifetime, ever watched. It took off. It became the greatest Heisman ceremony night I can ever remember. So please, if you would, you went out of your way to go all the way to New York to be there for what has become your family. Try to put into words for me what the night felt like to you being in the middle of it.
Skip, I thought, first of all, I want to thank Travis and I want to thank his mom, his grandmother, and, Uncle Dion, everybody. I want to thank them for even, allowing me to be a part of it. But Skip, I thought I was prepared for it. I've been to plenty of events.
Yes, you have.
I thought I was prepared for it. So when I walked in, the first person I saw Ron Dane, and then I saw Mark Ingram, and then I see Johnny Manziel, and then I'm like, hold up. I'm like, hold up. I'm amongst too much greatness right now. And then I sit down next to Unc, and then I'm sitting amongst Shador, and I'm sitting amongst Travis and his mom, and I'm just like, hold up. And that's when it hit me, and I felt that way before, and that was when I went to the award. I went to an award show, and it was an award show where Dickie V gave his speech.
Yeah.
When he got the Jimmy V award, and he gave his speech. That moment right there was unforgettable. That moment Saturday night, unforgettable.
Man. So I don't ever remember seeing a setup like this, because usually they have the 4 finalists shoulder to shoulder on the front row, but they allowed, which they should have, you guys to take over that to the camera right front row. Yeah. So you all got to sit with Travis in the front row. How cool was that?
Skip, you all right. Again, like I said, when we walked in there and they showed me to my seat, and we sitting in the front, I'm like, come on. I thought it was a sign, honestly. I said, I think this is a sign that you're winning. They usually sit the winner up close.
I think you're right. Exactly. Yeah. So he did, straight from the heart, acknowledge to you in his acceptance speech, which was all-time great, that he's not a music lover. He didn't know your music until his fiance.
He didn't even listen to music, Skip. He's so focused. Yeah. He's so focused on just being a better Travis every day.
Yeah.
And like, you don't meet young people like that. You don't meet young people like that.
Yeah. And so his fiance introduced him to you and your music. And it clearly has affected him, where he must not listen to anything but you. That's how it came across, right?
that's how it came across. But I'm sure he listens to other music. But period, man, just to know that he's listening to me and not hearing me, such a difference.
And big.
Just to know that fact right there alone is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. How would you describe the Travis you've come to know off the field to somebody who would not know him? What is he? How does he come across? You've known a lot of young football players in your time.
Off the field, honestly, Skip, since the day I met him all the way to to now, he hasn't changed. I would love to say that there was some major growth, and I would love to say that he's matured, but he's been that same grown, mature young young man that he is right now. Now I
Yeah.
can say the growth that I see is on the field.
Yes.
On the field. He
Absolutely.
just, like I said, he just, but without football, he works on being a better Travis every day.
Mm.
I take, for example, when they played Colorado State the first year and
Yep.
the kid hit him, on the sideline as a whatever, dirty play, whatever.
It was a
He,
cheap shot. Yeah.
cheap shot. And right after that, him and the kid are bowling.
They did. They're
But
bold. I
they
know.
bowling
Blew me away. What?
for $1,000 to the charity of their liking. But to the
Exactly.
charity, I would have kept. I'm like, what? I'm like, so I texted him that night and I was like, Travis, I was like, did someone tell you to do that? And he was like, nah, no one even know I was gonna do it. And
Mm.
so when he said that, I called Unc. I was like, Unc being Dion. I was
Yeah.
like, Unc, you put that together? Unc didn't even know what I was talking about.
Ah,
He was like, "What you talking about, Wayne?" I was
okay.
like, he went out and bowled with the kid that he was like he did. Like, you know what? That don't surprise me. And I said, you know what? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that it doesn't surprise you.
And the kid was a white kid
Yes,
who was a veteran player, and I think he's a decent player. But
he's a nice player, Skip.
he's a nice player. Yeah,
We had our eyes on we've had our eyes on him since high school.
yeah, yeah. And yet I'm with you. That told me a whole lot about Travis Hunter projecting his ability to go places. That
Yes,
showed me what he is made of.
yes.
So I obviously went on to the after party. I don't know. Did you play at the after party? I didn't ask you.
No, I
No.
didn't. I didn't get to go to the after party
Okay.
because I had to hurry up and get on the flight trying to
Okay.
make
All
it
right. Yeah.
I had to try to make it to Lake Tahoe, but the snow was crazy there.
Oh, okay. Snow was crazy in New York, you mean?
And Lake Tahoe.
Oh, in Lake Tahoe. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got there safely. So project Travis for me to the next level. What do you see? What do you predict? What's his future in the National Football League?
So like I was saying about his growth and maturity on the field, I believe that he's gonna obviously get better and better and better. To Is what I see. That's what the eye test says, and I believe he's gonna probably, he's gonna be something we haven't seen in the NFL for a long time, and that's the two-way player.
Yep.
Plain and simple. I believe, and you already know what that's gonna do. That's gonna be the root it's gonna be the seeds or the root or whatever of the tree of two-way players.
Exactly. I don't think we've ever seen a Travis before because I go back to Champ Bailey, who at
Hmm.
Georgia played some receiver and kick returner. But
Yeah.
when Champ got to the NFL, it was pretty much all cornerback all the time.
Yeah.
And with Travis, I'm pretty sure he could be a Pro Bowl receiver. He could, and I believe that they'll have to monitor it and keep him on some kind of a pitch count on
Hmm.
offense. But I believe he could make the Pro Bowl as a receiver. Can you see him contributing at a high level at receiver as well as being the next Dion at cornerback?
Definitely can see him contributing as a receiver because he's one of them. You know who he remind me of as a receiver, Skip? He reminds me of he reminds me of the CD Lamb. And
Really?
cause CD to me, CD go out there and he does the dirty work.
He
He
does.
does the
Run
the
after catch.
finesse. He does the
Yeah.
finesse work.
Mhm.
He does,
Yep.
you know what I mean? He's out there. He's ready. And also I throw in there like Alvin Kamara, like those
Mhm.
guys, CD and Alvin, they gonna ball out regardless. The
They
team
just
can
do.
be
Yeah.
0-16, he gonna ball out
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what you have in Travis. So you know what I mean? So it could be received if the coach decide to put him at center. He's gonna be the
He
best
would.
center we've ever
He would
seen.
be the best center ever. The play that got me, and I don't know if you remember this one, but at the end of the Baylor game in Boulder, it
Yeah.
goes down to the last play, and their quarterback, who could run a little bit,
Yes.
takes off up the middle, and I think, uh-oh, this is trouble. And out of
Yes.
nowhere,
Here come Travis.
here he came and met him in the hole head on and rocked him and dislodged the football.
The football,
Yeah.
yes.
I was like, what? And it took me a
Yes.
second to focus on, wait a second, it was Travis.
That that just happened.
Okay. And obviously, Dion always had the reputation as the greatest cornerback ever. He would make business decisions and not always stick his nose in the middle of something if he
Oh, you
didn't
already
have
know
to.
that.
Dion would
I'm too
tackle you
pretty.
and get you on the ground if you had to go. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
he's too
too
pretty.
pretty. I'm
But
too pretty.
Travis, hey, he
Travis
is,
about to put it.
and that's fine. But he got the job done.
Travis
Hey,
gonna lower his shoulder.
Travis stuck
He
his
making
nose.
contact. He gonna make contact.
Oh, oh God, unbelievable. So I was thinking about you because you've been to so many big sports events, including like Masters. You'll just pick up and go to the Masters.
Yes.
And I was thinking about you there Saturday night, and as sports events go, and I got to make that. I know there wasn't, obviously on the field competition, but
Mhm.
to me, did that rank up there of all these sporting things that you've been to? Would that be up near the top?
Let's skip that. Probably skip that. It'd be arguably at the top.
It would be. Yeah,
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 definitely,
yeah, because
definitely.
it took off to where his mom went on camera with Holly Rowe and stole the show. I thought
Yes,
if possible, she upstaged her son's acceptance speech because she was sensational
I told
from
her.
the heart.
I told her right then and there. I said, "Let me get your number now before you get too big for your television show. Get too big, you forget
True.
about. It.
No,
Let
it's
me
true.
get your number
Yeah,
now."
no, I'm with you. So Dion says that Shadur and Travis and Shiloh are all going to play in the Alamo Bowl against
Hmm.
BYU. And it surprised me a bit because usually players of this magnitude
Yes.
opt out of the bowl game because it's just not worth the trouble or
Mm-mm.
the risk or whatever. But because they love that man so much, and because they know this is going to be it for them to share the
Mm-mm.
field and the locker room with him, they are going to play. Are you cool with them playing?
I represent Travis, so
You do.
when he was giving his speech, and I heard him giving the speech. He said in the speech, he was like, "Cause I got the game coming up."
I know.
My eyes got so big, I was like, "What game we talking about?"
He's talking about the
and that,
Alamo Bowl.
oh no, they playing, and that right there goes to speak to the question earlier.
Yeah.
That's the type of player he is.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy, and that's the type of environment he's around. Those guys should do a shallow. That's what they are.
Yeah. They are.
That's what they are.
Are you convinced that Dion is for good at Colorado? Because he's recruited like crazy. So as he says, my kickstand is down in Boulder.
Yeah. So I mean, they just got that quarterback too.
They did.
Yeah. So Skip, I asked eye to man to man, eye to eye.
Yep.
In his office at Colorado, I asked him. I said, you're not gonna really go to you're not gonna go to the pros like when if Shador go, you're not going even if you had that opportunity." He looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Wayne, I believe everything I do. I believe I'm doing it for a higher calling."
He
And he
is.
believe, and he truly believes. I really truly believe that this is my calling to make a real impact in these young men's lives. And he was like, I don't think I can do that at that point. He said, I think this right here is that
It
vital
is.
point where I need to,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm not even worrying, but he's like, the NIL and all. He's like, true, all that is a headache. He was like, a headache
Yeah.
I'm willing to take for the better of what I'm doing.
Okay. Because I just thought it could be the package deal if Shadur goes to the
I
Giants,
thought that
like go to New York and Dion and Shadur
I would
taking
try
over
to
the
have
Big
something.
Apple.
I
Yeah.
would try to have something to do with the deal. You know me.
You would. You would be right in the middle of that deal and you would broker that deal. Well, yet after he's recruited the way he's recruited and he has made promises to that young quarterback's family who's coming in to
hmm
replace Shadur, I'm pretty sure he's in Boulder next year.
Skip, I think what we don't understand is that it's still it's a challenge for him.
Yeah,
And he love and you and I know, and you know better than me. He love a challenge.
he does.
And,
And
and, and some people say that, and some people mean it when they say they love a challenge. But it's a difference when you love a
it's
challenge, but you
different.
love
Yeah,
more to to
yeah,
defeat the challenge,
yeah. Hey,
and
that
that's
man
what he wants.
is going to win a national championship in college football. And I know they won one there before, and it was a long time ago,
Yeah,
back in the early 90s, but he'll do it again. And
I'll
I
be
know,
performing.
hey, yeah, you'll be performing. Yes, you will. And they went 9-3 this year. And I know
Yes,
they had one really bad game against Kansas, and Kansas got hot late and started giant
man,
killing BYU and Iowa State. They beat, and then they beat Colorado. It was at Arrowhead at the
at
Chiefs' place.
Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they ran for like 323 yards, and they just couldn't stop them from running. But
Mhm.
if you look at the big picture, he took over a pathetic program that was at
They,
the bottom of the conference, and look
what
at
they
them
go like
now.
1-11, right?
Yeah,
Before you
they
got
won
that
one game. Yep.
1-11.
Yeah. 9-3. That's an all-time turnaround, man.
And when you're out there, Skip, it's the love that they have for Unc and and
Yeah,
Shador and
it's
everything. The
unbelievable.
love
Yeah,
is unexplainable. So
yeah,
that's another reason why I think it'll be
yeah,
very difficult for him to want to to leave that love
yeah.
and go to the NFL where they love you and hate you every day.
That's exactly right. All right, let's talk about next level. Let's talk about your Green Bay Packers.
Mhm.
You're almost as big a Packer fan as I am a Cowboy fan, although that's debatable. And yet, you did bounce back from 34-31 on Thanksgiving at Detroit. It went to the wire, but you got your little mini bye, and here you came. And I have respect for Geno Smith in Seattle and their young head coach. And I thought that was going to be a much closer game than it was. You guys took over, and you guys were highly impressive last night. So you've risen to 10-4 now, and you have won 4 of your last 5. So
Mhm.
what give me like scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. What's your confidence level in your Green Bay Packers right here, right now?
Right now, my confidence level, to be honest, my confidence level is a high 8.
Okay. High 8.
High 8. Yeah,
All
right
right.
now a high 8, and that's because I still believe Jordan is growing every week. And I believe that we
Yeah.
make some. I still believe that coach is still trying to figure out, what's the best for Jordan. Like what's the
Yeah.
best for Jordan. And so I believe that some of the decisions we make that don't work. I look at it like I bet we'll never make that decision. I bet that was a learning
Okay.
curve just
All
now.
right.
And so I'm
Okay.
hoping that what I'm hoping that's what it is, and I'm hoping that
All right.
by the postseason when postseason come, we've cleared all that up and we ready.
Well, you didn't make many bad decisions last night because it was 30-13 and you did knock
hmm
Geno out of the game. But hey, your young receivers, Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, they can
hmm
play, man. They got
Yeah.
extreme ability, explosive ability. I mean,
Yes.
Christian Watson, I know he drops occasional balls, but he's just a flat out
He's a
freak
beast, though.
stud.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
He's a
And
beast. And also, in Wisconsin and Green Bay, they don't have nothing to do, so they focus.
They're
They
focused.
focused.
They looked
And also
focused last night up in Seattle.
we hit that road, Skip. When we hit the road, I don't know what coach be telling them, but they go every time we go. You know, I don't mean to bring it up, but but ever
Hey,
since the Cowboy game
27
last
to
year,
nothing before halftime is what it was.
we hit that road ready. So
You
that's why
did.
I'm not even fearing not getting and having to go on the road for the postseason. I'm not
Yep.
fearing that at all.
Could you see them winning the NFC?
And Skip, you know what I can see. You know my visions for my team.
Yeah.
I vision my team hosting the Lombardi Trophy, but yes, I can
Yeah.
see them winning the NFC.
Yeah. I can too. I predicted before the year that they would make it to the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia and lose. I've had the
And lose
Eagles
against
from the
Saquon
start.
and them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I got. And I think they can get at least that far because I love this team because I love the love at quarterback.
Now
He just
you've
gets
been
better and
rocking
better.
with us ever since. You've been
Yeah.
rocking with us ever since Love been in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Okay. Speaking of Super Bowl, I got to hit you with this because this is just me and
Mhm.
I do love you, but I just remain baffled and angry over why the NFL did not choose you to play halftime of a Super Bowl that's going to be in your hometown. And I know you went through a lot with it, but now that your feelings have settled some, how do you explain their choosing not to ask you?
Well, so I'll give you two. I give you both. So when I say I give you my general answer, and then I give you the personal answer. So
Okay.
generally, I explain it. Generally, I just believe that um, they, for whatever reason, I believe that it's over my head.
Yeah,
Meaning I can't. I don't know why.
I got
Period. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I believe that it'll been perfect. It's perfect, but I do not know why. But personally, personally, the person I am, I straight look at it like you ain't there. You ain't there. You got to get there. You got to
it.
get there.
Oh,
But
hey,
you know how we Skip.
but
You know how we
you got
rock.
there a
You
long
gotta
time
have it.
ago.
You
Come on,
know.
man. I mean, you're the GOAT. And it's New Orleans. It just
Yeah,
makes
I
no
know.
sense to me. I don't get it. Their politics played. I don't know.
That's another part of it. I think there's things that I can't control involved in it. So it is what it is.
Are you better with it now than you were when it first hit?
No.
You seem better because I know at first you were pretty torn up about it, as you
Yes.
should have been.
Doing talking to people that matter, talking to people that care about me, they telling me things that, telling me the truth, telling me the facts and dealing with living, accepting the facts, embracing the facts and moving on.
Okay. And you still, you're saying you got to get better to earn the right to be on that stage?
I want to this is what I told myself. I told Mac, I told Fabe, this is what I told him. I said, you know what?
Your managers, yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so I said, I want to get to the point where I'm undeniable.
Yeah,
I
undeniable. I
want them to
love
be
that.
able to,
Love that.
I want them to
Yeah.
walk in there and have 10 other choices. And whoever's in charge say, no,
Okay,
no,
I love that.
you have to go
Yeah.
with him.
I thought you were undeniable right here, right now, but that's just
Thank you,
me.
Skip. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So explain this part to me because I don't know the backstory of this, but what Kendrick Lamar, what his lyrics were about you. What can you explain? I'll just quickly read them. I know you know them. I used to
And
bump that
actually
Carter
don't.
3. Okay. I
I
used to
actually
bump
don't.
that Carter 3. I held my Rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down from Kendrick Lamar. Let Lil Wayne down. And I don't really understand that. Help me out. What was that about?
That was my first time hearing it. But I think I think he just, I think he's a fan, like I'm a fan of his music. He's a
Sure.
fan of mine.
Yeah.
I think he
He's
meant
definitely a fan of yours. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he just mean by he saw what everybody else he saw how much it meant to me. And I think that's all he mean is that I
Okay.
don't think it. And when we speak, and obviously he can't control that. And,
Yeah.
so he didn't let me know. It ain't like he don't. It ain't like he can control it or nothing. And also, I've spoken to him and I wished him all the best and told him he
Did you?
better
Good.
kill it. Yeah,
Okay. All
so
right.
you better kill it. You gotta kill it.
Okay. Well, did he say anything to enlighten you about these lyrics about you? I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. I don't know exactly what that means. If he's sort of
No, no, he ain't. I don't think he. No, he knew he didn't have to do anything. There was no explanation that was needed for that. I think I understand. Again, that was my first time hearing it when you just said it, but
okay,
I understand. I understand those words. Like I said, I think he just mean that he made it there, and his hard work is the reason why he made it there.
yeah.
And
I I,
obviously,
I
meaning
took
let
it,
me down is me just being upset about not getting disappointed about not getting that spot.
yeah, yeah. When he says I worked hard and then it undercut you in your hometown. Like I worked as hard as I could and I got to a point where unfortunately it let you down because I preempted you on your what should have been your stage.
Without
Yeah.
and without having any control of it. So that's actually him expressing his showing that he has a heart and showing that
Yeah.
he actually have he care about the situation.
Okay,
Because he
but
could
you
go about it totally different. He could go about it like this is what I'm doing.
yeah. Okay, but you guys are cool. You have talked.
Oh
All
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
That's
told him he
good to
gotta
know.
kill it. That's what I told him. I told him he gotta smash it.
Well, he will smash it. I'm
Oh
sure he
yes, of
will.
course he will.
So, is there any way last second that you would be asked to make a little appearance with him on stage?
I'm not going to even be in the country. I don't even want
Okay.
to be
All right. Okay. I appreciate that. I actually love that and endorse that. I think that would be exactly what you should do. Okay. Let's get back to what's going on right now in the National Football League. I don't know if you had a chance to watch yesterday, but Josh Allen put on another
Oh my,
show.
come on, Josh. Josh Aliens. Yep.
Josh Allen. That's good. I like
Josh
that.
Aliens.
That's good. I may have to borrow that at some point. Josh
That's what they've been
Allen.
calling them.
I know. I love that. Okay. So now he's beaten Mahomes up in Buffalo and he went to
Mm-hmm.
Detroit and did a number on them yesterday. He was just unstoppable throwing it and
Yes.
running
He
it.
is unstoppable and sometimes, most of the time.
Is he the now runaway MVP?
I don't say runaway, but I believe right now he's in the MVP. He's in the lead of the chase. I think he's right up there with, obviously Lamar and Saquon. I thought it was him and Saquon. Saquon had
Yep.
a pretty fair game
He had a fair
yesterday.
game. Yep.
Yeah, pretty fair game. But he also sealed the deal for him when he made that like what it was like a 70, ran it all the way down to like the 3 or 4 yard line.
Yep.
They did the play action, then they threw the ball to AJ for the touchdown.
He did.
All that was Saquon.
It was. No, I got you. All right. So speaking of those Eagles, you have followed this. Obviously, a year ago, Jalen and AJ had an issue and they fell completely apart and they lost their last 6 games to go from 10-1 to
Mm-hmm.
10-7. And then they stunk it
Yes.
up in a playoff game at Tampa. And that was the end of that deal.
Yes.
Okay. So now they're back on a roll. To me, they look like the best team because they definitely have the best defense.
Hmm.
And with
They look good.
Saquon, yeah. Oh, man. So do you think, Brandon Graham said that Jalen and AJ still have some issue going on under the surface a little bit. He said that last week. And they went out of their way yesterday to say, no, watch this.
Yeah.
And there was a touchdown pass thrown from Jalen to AJ, and they did a little
Hmm. They did
celebration dance
the
together.
kid and play.
They did. They went kid and
Yeah.
play. They did.
Yeah.
And do you trust it? Do you trust they can work through whatever they went through last year? and sort of forgive and forget on it?
Yeah, but they have to, Skip.
Yeah.
So they have to. They work in the same. They work on the they work on the same occupation on the same team. They have
Yeah, they
to.
do.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple. Plain
Okay.
and simple. They have to. And I believe that they're adults. And if I had to put my answer in the bucket, my answer would be yes, they will. They'll work it out.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. Mm.
Could you see that team winning it all this year?
I can, it's possible I can see them winning, but obviously we're in the NFC, and also with all that said, there's still that team in red out there in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those guys are just they, they're amazing. But
There,
I believe then Pat got hurt, but he also said that he could have came back in the game if it was different
he
circumstances.
said
So
that. That's why I'm not overreacting to it. He said I could have
yeah,
finished if I had to.
yeah.
They were up
I also
21 to
I
7.
also think he gonna play. I don't think he gonna miss a game.
Okay, he'll just come right back in.
I don't think
So,
he's gonna miss a game.
okay, so you realize they have gotten to 13 and 1 and they've had 7 great escapes at the end of 7 games where they somehow some way they either lucked out or
The ball
figured
bounced
it
their
out.
way. The ball
Huh?
bounced their
It
way.
ball bounced their way 7 times, not 2 times or 3, 7 times. To me,
Mm-hmm.
they've been the luckiest team I can ever remember because it's hard to get to 13 and 1 and their other numbers are not impressive. They got a top
Mm-hmm.
5 defense, but Mahomes' numbers are down across the board. He's career low everywhere. Travis Kelce is career low across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not putting up gaudy, crazy numbers. They
I
just,
know.
there's only one number that's gaudy and crazy, and it's 13, as
13.
in 13 and 1.
13. I already know.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it before.
You know what? You know what I say to that? We said this last year.
Okay. Like
We
this
did
is
all
it.
this. We
Yeah, I
we
know.
did
I
all this
know.
last year. We were saying that they don't look
Yeah.
like themselves. They don't look. They're not beating their. They're not blowing nobody away. They Super Bowl champs.
Okay. So if you had to bet $1 on it right now, you'd still bet on them.
No, I bet on the Packers.
Okay. But I'm saying from their
You
side,
mean without my?
in
You
there.
mean? Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
would, Skip. Even though Josh looked absolutely
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing, but we've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen the Bills do what they do in the regular season, and when it comes down to the postseason, it you know, Chiefs be the Chiefs.
Yeah. Josh Allen just looks different to me. It's like he grew
Josh
up,
Allen is
you know.
different, Skip. He
Yeah.
is different.
No, but he was the all-time turnover machine until this year. Like yesterday, he didn't turn it over one time.
That
You know,
was a
his
play.
yeah,
That was a play. Like yes, that was a play when he scrambled. It's like a play to seal the deal. He
yeah,
scrambled through it and ran right up the middle,
he
and you can
did.
see him looking at himself on the board as
He
he
did.
slid.
I
You
know it.
saw
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And it looked like to me, I wasn't. It wasn't so much about him looking at himself. Now to me, I think that I was saying to myself because there was only like two defenders there. If I remember, I was saying to myself, I know Josh wants. I know Josh said to want to just lower his shoulder and get 4 or 5 extra yards just over those two little defenders. But I know he did. And I know that was a real moment for him to, you know what, let me take this slide right here. That's why I think
Okay.
he slid so gracefully.
Okay. He did.
Yeah,
No, he
yeah.
did. And he held
So
on to the football. Yeah.
that part right there could be scary if he learns how to be,
Yeah. But
if he learns how
remember
to
before the
be
year,
that.
yeah, they finally said more trouble than worth to Stephon Diggs, and they trade him to the
Exactly.
Texans. He got hurt.
Exactly.
Knock on wood for him to come back. But everybody said, "Oh, Josh is without his security blanket. You know, he doesn't
I'm
have
talking
Diggs."
about people wrote them up. People had them with 6 wins.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
now I, I look around and Shakir catches balls, and they went and got Amari Cooper, and he didn't even play yesterday. You know, they look
I,
like they benched him.
I saw him. I saw him at one point. like give somebody a high five, but I also noticed that he wasn't in the game.
Yeah. Well, I know when he was a Dallas Cowboy, they just gave up on him. They just couldn't.
I think that was I'll be looking at. I thought that was just some like some you can like just preserving him type of thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but okay. So we got to do one other sport, and that's basketball because
Hmm.
you are a diehard Laker fan.
Yeah.
LeBron did return last night from his hiatus, his personal time away.
Hmm.
Played pretty well. They looked great in the first half. They went up 23, then they sort of held on in the second half. They actually lost the second half 64-52 to Memphis, but they hung on and won by 6.
Hmm.
Where are they now in your view? What are they? What do they need to do to fix whatever ails them?
I believe I believe the addition of somebody's. I believe that'll help. But I honestly, Skip, I think they were just missing Brian. Missing
Okay,
Brian.
just
Yeah,
that.
yeah, his presence in the locker room, his presence on the court. I believe everybody played different when he was there.
Yep,
Everybody played to me. Everybody played their best because they believe that they're on the court with the best.
yep.
And so, yes, I honestly think that's all it was.
Hey, and I keep saying if you did have Jared Vanderbilt, because he can really defend at a high level, and they have missed
Mm-hmm.
him badly on defense. I don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but he's got a foot issue, and he just does he never plays.
I think
And
he had it last year too.
he did. I mean, he missed the whole
Yeah.
year basically. And then
Yeah.
Christian Wood, I've been a big fan of his because he's, he can
He's
play
tall.
big or
He's
little.
supposed to be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he can shoot threes. He just knows how to play basketball. He's a veteran presence, and they
Yes.
miss that. And I don't know what's wrong with him, but those two are killing them not being there because if
Not
you
being
put them
there.
in the rotation, I don't know, they look pretty good.
It's a long season. It's a long season.
yeah, it's a long season. So you
I mean,
haven't given up on them whatsoever.
oh no. Oh
Okay.
no. Giving up. You want to see Dalton Connect. You want to see how he play.
Yeah. Well, he had a
Uh,
stretch where he was the rookie of the year, and then he's
yeah.
quieted down here lately, right?
Yeah. I believe that's because Brian wasn't
Okay.
there. Yeah.
So, all right,
Hold on.
go
Wait till we got our secret weapon come in for the postseason. Bronny. Oh, secret weapon.
secret weapon.
You
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm
saw
not
them 30. You saw he dropped 30 the other night. You saw them 30.
okay. So, yeah, help me out on this because I'm a big fan of his as a kid because they raised him right. He is a
You
really
are
good
Skip.
kid. Big.
You've been boasting
I
about
just
Bronny
love
for a
I
minute.
love the way he carries himself, handles himself, because a lot of kids, as the oldest raised in that household with a father that famous, it just spoils you. It just
Yeah,
makes
it
you
does.
difficult to
It
deal
can
with.
do that to you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's just such a pure good kid. He just had a hard time shooting the basketball. He in the G League game the other night, he finally made 3 threes in the first half, and
In
then
the first half, yes.
he went 0 for 6 from 3 in the second half. And so now as a pro, I looked this up the other day. If you count summer league and G League and the times
Hmm.
he's played in the NBA, he's shooting 9% from 3 because
Wow.
it's just been a disaster shooting the basketball. And I thought he was a 3 and D kid, like I thought that's what he would do.
I didn't think he'd be that Skip. I didn't
No?
think he'd be a 3 point. No, I thought he was the defense. I thought he'd be like
Yeah.
just a hard player. Play
Yeah.
hard. Just play hard on that at anything.
Yeah.
Just playing hard. Kind of like Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen Jr. At one point, I didn't even think. I didn't think Scottie was going to even make the league. Now he's kind of
He
needed.
he is. He played last night and played some valuable minutes for
Yeah,
them.
he
I like
plays
the way he
hard.
plays.
He plays hard.
He played at my school, Vanderbilt, so I got to watch
Yes,
him
he
in
did.
college.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He played hard though, Skip.
he plays hard and he plays fearless. he tried to take a charge from LeBron last night, just coming up the floor. I don't know if you got
That's
to watch
that's
it. And he just like stopped in front of LeBron, and LeBron just ran
hmm
over him. And LeBron's looking at the ref like, what? And they
what I
called
do.
a
Yeah,
foul. They didn't call a
yeah,
charge. They called a
yeah.
block. So, but you know, could Bronny? I mean, can you see him contributing at all as the league as the year wears on?
The way it looks, Skip, obviously it doesn't look like that right now. So he would have to show me at least
Yeah.
give me 10 more of those 30 games, 10 more of those
Okay.
30 burgers.
In G League, yeah,
Yeah, in the
absolutely.
G League. Yeah,
Yeah,
still in the G
absolutely.
League, but still give me 10 more of
Okay.
those 30 burgers. Let me start seeing some. And also,
Ooh.
I always was wondering, like, why he not working, training with the best? Like, let me see him
Yeah,
training. Like, start training. Work
yeah.
on your game. Work on your game.
I don't.
Embrace that. Embrace that. Don't look at where you at as it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah,
Nah, it's a
yeah.
blessing. And if you
Agreed.
embrace it as a blessing, then you dedicate yourself. You devote yourself to a blessing.
I love that. All right, go two other directions with me. First of all, big picture. What makes Lil Wayne the happiest? When you're creating or when you're performing?
Mm.
Where's your happy place? While you're creating like late at night, early in the morning, or when you're actually on stage performing what you created? Which is your happier place in this life?
That was a great question, Skip. Because I love them both equally, but obviously I believe that this how I answer it. I could live in the booth, but I'll die on stage.
Okay, so you live in the booth creating.
hmm Creating.
I think you
But
told me that you're slightly happier where you're where you're meant most to be is on stage.
on
It-
stage, yeah, I
yeah.
told you, at
Okay.
6 years,
Okay.
like 4 years old, just want to perform in front of
Just
somebody.
want to perform
Mm.
because to me, you're the hardest working man in show business because you will just pick up and go and perform like every weekend. It seems like you're somewhere else performing,
Yeah,
and it doesn't wear on you at all. I don't ever see you get tired of it. I don't see you get worn out. I don't see you. I never have heard you complain about, oh, I got a show in Dallas tonight or Kansas City or Tulsa, Oklahoma. You just go, and every performance is like your first ever. It's like
yes, I give my all.
you give every last ounce. And
Yeah.
Ernestine and I have watched you, and you just, I don't even know who the guy is up there but that's the real you. That right?
Yes, I give my all up there, Skip.
Yes,
And
you do.
also, I don't get tired of it because I look at it for what it's worth, Skip. Once I walk in there and you hear people, cheering and thank God the shows are my shows. So that means they came for me. They came to see me.
They
That's
did.
amazing.
It
That
is
is
amazing.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So I honor that. And there haven't been a moment that I believe whenever I feel like it, whenever I do get tired, I'll probably just start thinking about giving it up.
yeah. Okay. I mean, you go to Fargo, North Dakota,
Fargo, I love
like,
going to
and you love
Fargo.
Fargo, and you always tell me
Yeah.
those are some of my best fans in Fargo, right?
Yes, yes,
And you
yes.
you you missed a stop there because of weather last year, and then you
hmm
made it up.
Went
You
back and
you
yeah,
went back
yeah.
because you love those fans because
Oh,
they love
you
you.
gotta. They came to see, they can't, like, I know we always talk about it with, like with the basketball, with the whole management stuff like that, Man, the people pay their money to see me still. They pay their money to see me. I gotta give them a
They
show.
do. They do. All right. Final question. I've thought about this for me, and I want to know where you would go with this. If you could change places, if you could switch lives with any athlete in the history of sports, who would you switch lives with? If you could be somebody else in sports, who would that be in history? Not current, or it can be any time, past or present. Who would you switch with? Who would you want to be most?
I want to be, let's say, Deion Sanders. Or
Really? Okay.
the number one. Honestly, my number one person was Babe.
Babe Ruth?
I want to be, yeah,
Yeah.
because he has so many. He has so many. I look at Babe. I always looked at Babe Ruth as the sports Elvis,
Okay. He
because when I would
was. Yeah. No, he
when I would
was.
look at, I would try to do my history on Elvis. I was like, wow, there's the young Elvis, then there's the big Elvis, and then there's the biggest
Yeah.
Elvis, and
There
that's how
was.
when
Yeah.
I look at Babe, I was like, oh, he was a pitcher. I was
He was a
like,
pitcher and a really, really good one, like an
exactly.
all-star. Yeah.
Then I had to do obviously all I knew him for was calling his shot and hitting it.
He
And
called the
once
shot
I
at
did my history,
Chicago and
that's how I
Wrigley
always
Field.
felt
Yeah.
about those two. So I would love that longevity like that, to be loved at every single point of my life.
Okay. So you would go with Babe Ruth slightly over Dion.
I go with Babe Ruth, yeah, just because, like I said, that longevity is great. That longevity is, I mean, I believe he probably died with a smile.
He did die with a smile. And as you know, in those days, baseball was everything. It was it.
That was one of America's pastimes.
It was America's pastime. There was very little pro football and there was no pro basketball whatsoever in
Yes,
those
I
years.
already know.
And he was monumentally big in this country, where he was the icon of icons. He was 714 home runs. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
it. That's a
yeah.
good one. I like that. I I personally would go with Jordan just because
I already knew you was gonna say that,
he's it.
Skip.
Okay. I always say, not not like the nicest guy I've ever known, and I did get to know him some in Chicago, but
Hmm.
coldest blooded assassin in the
I
history of
already know.
sports. He just
I already
is. And I would love to feel, just for a minute, what it felt like for him to step on the floor and look
and just know.
and just know, where you just look at the other team and you're like, no, you,
Yeah.
you ain't that and you ain't that. And he often
And you
told,
can't, and you know what? You might be that and that, but I'm this.
I'm
That was
this.
him. Yeah.
He was the ultimate him to me. So I would just
Yeah.
like to feel what that felt like. I know, like, when I was in high school, in my music times, way before you, I wanted to be Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, because
Who
when they,
didn't?
hey, yeah, but when they toured, he was it, because
Yeah.
the Beatles shared, back in my heyday in the
Hmm.
60s, like Paul McCartney and John Lennon shared, being, they
The
were the
stage, exactly.
co-lead
Exactly.
singers,
Yeah.
right? And George Harrison had a big part in that, but with the Rolling Stones, it was just Mick
Mick.
took
You
it
know.
over, and he couldn't really dance, but he could move enough.
Those moves,
Yeah,
his personality can't, to me, it would look like he just let the music take over. So it's
he did.
whatever happens, happens.
It just
It was pure.
unbelievable. But that's another one where, for just a moment, I wanted to feel like what it felt like to hold that microphone and to have 100,000 people. I saw him twice at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. You got 100,000 people right here, but
Yes.
that feeling because you do it like
Yeah.
every week. So
It's
what it feels like,
it's amazing.
the power in your right hand of that microphone, that connection deep into the souls of everybody in the arena or the stadium or wherever you are, is, to me, it would be the ultimate rush, the ultimate power.
I think you just answered why I never get tired of it, Skip.
That's right. That is
Yeah.
exactly right. So I never get tired of listening to you, because you're the greatest sports fan I know other than me. And
Yes.
I always say you view it with a depth and an IQ, high sports IQ that I don't know. Like I would rather text with you about sports or talk to you about sports than I would with anybody in the world, anybody. And
You already know this.
as
That's how we
Ernestine,
do. That's what we do.
that's how we do. But as Ernestine knows, I don't really like to talk sports with many people because the truth is they can't sort of come up on the right
To that
level. You
level.
know,
Yeah, I know. I
it's
already know.
just not, it's not smart enough for me. It
I
doesn't
already know.
scratch my itch. You know, it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't satisfy me because they don't get it. And every time I talk to you or listen to you, you make me think of something I didn't think about, where you're already a step ahead or a step deeper than the rest of the world is at that point.
That's why.
So I appreciate you. I love you.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate this time today. And I'll look forward to texting about my Dallas Cowgirls as soon as they mess up again.
Man. Y'all still got a shot, Skip. It ain't over.
Huh?
So y'all still got a shot. It ain't over.
Got a shot at what?
Miss Dolly marrying Jerry Jones and everybody drinking RC Cola at the wedding.
That's exactly what we got a shot at. That's all we got a shot at. See, I have mixed emotions because every time we beat some Carolina, then Jerry gets all fired up about Mike McCarthy again, and
Yeah.
we'll go right back to where we were because Mike McCarthy was the head coach last year in a home playoff game in which we fell behind 27-0 before halftime.
But it was
Against
to a
Virginia.
great team, Skip.
Yeah,
It was to
great
a
team.
great team.
Great team. The youngest team in the playoffs last
The
year.
youngest team in the league.
Yeah, 7 seed, the Packers. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for this time. I'm enlightened, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Appreciate you a lot.
Love you, brother. Love you, brother.